Hey all, J-Town here, and I wanted to make this video for a while now, but I guess today is the day. Jay Giggs dropped his video a while ago and absolutely love it. He is on point, and I wanted to echo that, add another viewpoint as well. I know he mentioned in his video, if you haven't watched it, I'll link it in the description below. Definitely check him out. I love his approach to the game. He's right when he said that we talk about this in content creator chat. And I know that in the YouTube sphere, it looks like we're all islands to ourselves, right? Like there's not really any collaboration or interconnectivity between content creators on the YouTube sphere. But in that content creator chat, we do talk about these things all the time. So I just want to give that my take on that as well. And yeah, I'd like to see some of that content creator work come out here into the YouTube sphere, like I said. So the state of the game, as he calls it, which is a great way to put it, yeah, there is one overarching problem in the game. A lot of people say it's pay to win, or they hit a progress wall, different things of that nature. And a lot of that can come back to one major thing, which is the food shortage. So do not get me wrong. I want this game to succeed. I want the developers and marketers to make money. I want them to make so much money that this game succeeds and takes off and becomes better, because they need that to make new content for all of us. So I don't want them to not make any money. What I don't want is for the player base to leave because the entire game only was possible for like 7 whales to all smack each other with their wallets. In the meantime, all the base players, the 100,000 people that just joined the Discord, the million pre-registers, all get tired of the game and leave. And then the game just dies, and then none of us get to enjoy this amazing game. So please do not misconstrue where I'm coming from. On that same note, a game or anything in life, if it can't hold up to honest criticism, is already doomed to fail. Right? Even us as people, we have to accept those kind of things. So when I say these things, they're out of changes that I think should happen for the better for the game and the community. So let's jump right in. Obviously, the food shortage. So the game does require money and spending, just like Raid, just like Ace did, just like others where you want to buy summons, right? Buy wishes. I go in here and I want to get a wish. I know this is going to cost me, 15 of these to get to hard pity, 150 of these to get to hard pity. Well, that costs me, and there may be good deals from time to time, but on the regular, that's going to cost me, if I'm getting 20 of these and 2 of those, I'm looking at probably around $120 on average to hit a legendary, right? Now, that's a big chunk of money, and it's more than the average player is going to spend. It's a drop in the bucket to the whales, but we have to think of the entire game's population here. I'm already spending a good chunk of money just to summon those heroes. So you're saying, okay, now I need to go level those heroes up. I'll go check my heroes tab, and I'll have, let's just say I just pulled Fritch. I'm going to level this guy up. I can level him up here with my potions. I go to awaken him. I've got a few, okay, and I'll awaken him, and I'll go to the next one, and it'll be 3. And by the time I'm done, I don't have enough currently in my bank to get him past awaken 3. Well, I've already got established teams at 150, right? The level cap stops on 150. So if you go look at the content that I'm currently on, let's just go look at Dwarven Ruins, for example. Let's go Ifrit, right? I'm currently fighting stage 27. Those things are level 270. So unless I can get that hero that I just pulled up to Awaken 5 and 150, they are literally unusable. I cannot do anything with that hero that I paid the money to then try to summon to then get any progress, right? So it's not like I'm asking you to give me something. It's called, I can't use the hero unless I get them to their max level. Now, we're not even talking about actually building the character, right? Building the character is the gear and the skill scrolls and the exclusives and tweaking out all those things and getting that just right and your team comps. Some just basic ass leveling of your hero. I can't do that because where am I going to get the food, right? If you go to the Dragon Cliffs, I can get these eggs in here. 12 runs at 50 stamina is 600 for a 4-star egg. My daily cap, if I were to let that just regenerate, is 980. So I can't even get 2 4-star eggs with the daily amount of 24-hour energy respawn that I've got there. And then if you go and look in your crafting to get those to build up to a 5-star, right? Say I've already got one of the 4-star heroes. That would take 5 of those eggs, right? That's 3,000 energy on top of already having an epic. So if we count the epic as one of the eggs, let's say you need 6 4-stars, right? At 600 apiece. That's 3,600 stamina to get 1 Awaken 5 fodder. Now it takes 19 to get one of those legendaries from just their basic 5-star, not 5-star status up to Awaken 5 to even be usable. 3,600 stamina times 19 is an astronomical freaking number. Now you could say, oh, you could just wait 2 weeks and spend all your stamina going toward that. Yeah, I could, but that sounds insane. On top of, if I were to buy the stamina with diamonds, yeah, I'll get 200 for 40, but what's 200 going to do me compared to the 3,600 times 19 or 100 for 200? Like, the stamina cost there is ridiculous. I should just be able to pay 100 and fill the whole damn thing up. Or you'll flashbacks with some stamina in them that I've already had to use for these other events. Right? 5,000 for 19. That'll only get me 1 1/3 of that 5-star that I need 19 of. So let's say 1.5. So I'm going to see 13 times of buying this, right? That's another $300-something to just have enough stamina to only put into the Dragon Cliff to get enough food to build up one of those legendaries just to a usable level. Now, that's not even taking into consideration stamina I would then have to use in the Dwarven Ruins to try to farm gear for that champion to then make them usable, on top of just being at a level where they don't get one shot. Going further, the stamina then, because these events come around all the time, we have a double emblem challenge. I have to go emblem them up, which costs stamina. So these are great, but they don't come at good times, because right now we have the challenge Neji event, which costs stamina, which if you've got people who go crazy, trying to get into these top ranks is almost impossible, and takes all stamina you could possibly have and cannot put it into the Dragon Cliffs. So the issue is literally compounded. Now, I've got 3 solutions I think can make this a lot better in the meantime until a more permanent thing is set up. So don't get me wrong here, I'm not just complaining. There's a lack of food in the game because the Dragon Cliffs is the only reliable source. The food you get from the campaign stages are so low, and they're mostly only 1s and 2s, but it still takes a ridiculous amount of those to craft into anything, right? Even 2s, right? It would require 5 of those. It just compounds and exponentializes into a horrible, horrible place to where you can't even build. And I say this passionately because I want people to hear it and listen and understand the situation that we're in. I'm not going to apologize for the game, but I'm also not going to bash the game, right? People will say, oh, well, it's fine the way it is. No, it's not. It's really not. Every day in my comments, people are saying that they're leaving the game. And I'm sure all the other content creators have the same thing. I'm leaving the game. There's no food. I can't use these units. I want to use these units. These are cool. I did the voiceover for this one. I want to try it out, but I can't. Because there is no food, because my stamina, what little I have, is already spoken for in these other events. So something, somewhere, has to give, because I just want to use my units. Now, here's the thing. Making food cheaper and more accessible so that we can actually use the heroes we summoned will not, in the long run, lose the company money, and I'll tell you why. Because if we feel like the money we spent can be used to what we want, rather than just being able to build the heroes we already paid to summon, we're more than likely to spend that money that we may or may not begrudgingly spend on stamina to get food on, I don't know, more wishes? Because in this game, unlike any other, you need to get dupes of extremely hard to get heroes. So just imagine the Raid Shadow Legends. Just imagine. You want Valkyrie, right? Some accounts will probably never get a Valkyrie just because of the RNG, and it's so rare. But imagine if to get Valkyrie to be at her most maximum potential, you had to get a duplicate of her, and there was no other solution to that duplicate. Like, you couldn't just put a skill book in her and get that same value. You had to get her twice. That's already at a whole nother flipping astronomical level, right? So in this game, it would behoove me more to be able to spend that money on more wishes, more summons, rather than having to spend it on just freaking leveling my dang heroes that I already got. See where I'm coming from? It sounds like I'm a little bit passionate about it, because I am. Because I feel like players need a voice, in addition to being able to make that voice constructive for a solution for the whole longevity of the game and the player base. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And a counter argument to one thing that I've heard pop up a few times, and people say, oh, well, what if they fix it now? What about the people who've already spent in, and won't they feel gypped? Okay, regardless if they compensate, which they should, in all fairness, they should compensate somewhat, because it used to suck is not at all whatsoever any reason for it to continue to suck, right? The future should be brighter despite the past being not as good. So that's already just a terrible, terrible argument. Should they give some compensation, right? I think Jay Giggs had a great idea with allowing us to A5 one more champion. You know, we already paid you to summon them. At least let us use them. Going forward, it needs to be better at growing those heroes, because that's going to already immediately just have another upward trend for the game. It's going to bring in more players. People will get more excited, which then they'll also want to bring more people. People will stay. Player retention will increase, thus leading to more spending on things that are more positive and enjoyable at the game versus FOMO, like, oh, well, in order to be able to use it, I have to pay you again to be able to go get food, right? It's a situation where the game is so good, but that problem with food literally does not exist in almost any other game to the level exists in this game. At all. Right? It has somewhat, right? It was harder to get food in Awakened Chaos Air than it was in Raid. Raid, I could go grind all day long for level 2 incubuses, 2-star incubuses, and then just summon get the crap out of those leveled up, feed them all, and have a level 60 in a day, right? If I set my mind to build somebody, I could. But we could go on and on and on about that. But the solutions. Let's get to the 3 solutions that would quickly stymie the situation. First off, Dragoncliff has got to be changed to be cheaper. At minimum, in half. Right? Now, I know the devs like the money they've got coming in. They don't want to do anything that will make them a little bit less money. You're not going to make any money off a game when it's dead. You'll make $0. So, hear me or don't hear me. This right here, honestly, should be 25 at most. At most 25 for this. Because I already have to do 12 runs to get 1 4-star egg. I need 6 4-stars, right? Because the 1 plus 5 food in order to make 1 5-star egg. And then I need 19 5-star eggs to make 1 hero to an A5 to even possibly even use them in the content I'm already in. So 25 to be able to use my stamina a little bit more effectively would not be a difficult thing. Second solution. Jay Giggs mentioned this as well, and it's a very, very welcome one, is that when you're crafting heroes, a 1-star hero plus a 1-star hero should equal to 2-star, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. Then once you get to Awakens, it starts back over. So I go to Awaken. If I go to Awaken him, there should be 1. And Awaken 2, it should be 2. Right? It should match themselves in the number. That would also cut things down in half. Let me to more utilize more of these heroes that I've already pulled. I have had Hoff for weeks and weeks and can't do anything with him. Because I have to currently save every single bit of fodder I possibly have for the next mythic I might get. That's a shame. So, you're making the Dragoncliff more usable for us because we can spend our stamina in there more, get more value out of it, taking a bit less fodder to get up to a dang A5. And the other thing you could do is these events. You could limit how much demand there is on our stamina at any one time, right? Double emblems, very good place to spend your stamina. But these challenge events, right? This is the only real place you're going to get those really regular mythic shards. And I'm not talking about these ice skating events. You can have these as often as you want because these are just pay and use your diamonds or whatever. You can get some shards there, but that's a whole different thing. These are not taking my stamina. But these constant challenges, right, on top of places where I want to spend my stamina on emblems, in addition to needing to grind the Dwarven Ruins for other gear that I need, in addition to needing it to use to grind in the Dragon Cliffs, you have to take away some of the demand for stamina that's stacked on top of each other, right? Alleviate it for people to use what they already have. And that money that they're not using to buy exorbitant amounts of stamina, they will then want to spend on more wishes. You'll see more wish content videos come out. You'll see more people getting new heroes, possibly new exclusives, people making some progress. It's not enough at all to make them beat the game that they couldn't beat before. You're still required to pull certain heroes for certain things. You'll still need to be able to, have those skill scrolls trickle in or spend your diamonds on them. You're not giving them those skills because, let's face it, some unskilled heroes aren't really that great till they get skilled. Some heroes aren't that great till they get an exclusive. So you're not really pushing anybody forward in content. They're not going to get there like 1,000% faster or even twice as fast. Shoot. All you're doing is allowing them to enjoy the things they've already bought from you. Right? That's all we're saying. So those three things. Make Dragoncliff half the cost that it is. Reduce the amount of fodder it takes to level up those things all the way to A5. And then kind of back off a little bit on the constant demand of our stamina in all these directions and allow wider gaps between those events for us to spend our stamina how we want to spend our stamina. And not always feel like it's FOMO every minute that we play. Like, oh, well, if I don't do this, I won't get the mythic shards. Well, I had to go get food. Like, it shouldn't be that constant battle of a choice where it's like you feel like you're really giving up something just to go do something else you need to do. Like, that's not good. That takes away from some of the fun. Because I'll say it again, this game is amazingly fun. This game is so fun. It's so good. The characters are so cool. I like it better than Raid. Right? I like this art style. I like the skills that they have. I like the factions. I like everything about this game. Except the damn food shortage and stamina demand. I want you to make money. Keep charging the exact same thing you're charging for wishes. Because if we're not having to buy it just to get the freaking food, we'll spend it on the wishes. We will still spend the same money on the wishes. Alright? I want you to not lose money, but I want the players to not quit the game. And it has to meet in the middle. Because I literally came to this game from a couple of games that died. One you probably never heard of. And we talked about those problems that things could be addressed from day one. And they literally went, nope. And I don't know if it's a sense of pride. I'm not telling you how to run your game. I'm just telling you that nobody will play your game if you do certain things. The same thing Jay Giggs was telling you. The same way that content creators are speaking about it in there. And that somebody needs to hear. We want the people to love the game and play it. We want them to. But people have already quit. We're just lucky enough to be on a stage where the growth and the quit and the people leaving are keeping it in balance. So it may not be noticed, but it's noticed in our comments. It's noticed. If the game can listen to the overall tone, like in the Discord, and it's, all the content creators, it could be really something special. But we'll have to see. Now, I know that they are listening and watching these videos because my video about Sigmund and his double counterattack, his innate ability stacking with the buff, 24 hours later in the patch preview, they had a thing in there saying that they would change the tooltip to say whether or not they can stack or not. So I know for a fact somebody is watching, somebody's listening. I hope they're listening here. All right? All right. I've been J-Town, y'all. Remember, this is all about helping the game grow. check out Jay Gig's video down there in the description. Like and subscribe here to him, to all the content creators, so you know what's going on in the game. Just want to add another voice publicly while the iron is hot. Like, just, you know, I could ramble on for hours, but that's what it is, y'all. That's where we're at. This game is absolutely fantastic. I just wish I could breathe a little bit more while I played it. All right, I've been J-Town. I will see you in game.